Welcome to this SBC media interview. We're joined today by Will Fyler, who is head of digital at Spotlight Sports Group. We're here to talk about specifically product development from Spotlight Sports Group this year, looking quite closely at the Superfeed product. So, Will, hi. How are you doing today?
Hi, Luke. I'm very well, thanks. Hot but well.
Yeah, we're all hot, but we're getting through it. So, if we look at the Superfeed, obviously 3 months or so ago, we first saw sort of the official PR about the product launching. How has it all gone? How would you sort of reflect on the first 3 months? Challenges? Has it gone as expected? How would you sum it up?
Yeah, it has gone. It's been really well received, and I guess I should probably give people a bit of background into what Superfeed is, shouldn't I, before I sort of go into how we've advanced it. So Superfeed is ultimately our content engine that marries up our experts' opinions, computer science, models, data, stats, odds, all in one feed to provide a betting-centric event, so a betting-centric feed for the full life cycle event. So from days before kickoff all the way through to the final whistle, we're able to cover over 50,000 matches a year across a multitude of sports, including racing, which is provided by Racing, the content provided by the Racing Post brand now, obviously, and also in over 70 languages. So it's been well received. Like the content itself is made up of 3 key elements. You've got your verdict, which is our experts' best bet of the match. So if you're scrolling through all the markets on an event, we pick out the best bet for that match and give some valuable reasoning why. Then we've got our insights, which is the most relevant information and stats for each specific betting market. So if you're looking at both teams to score market or the spread market or the total points market, whatever that may be, we'll be able to provide you or your audience with the information needed to enable them to make an informed decision. And then for the final element, which is I touched on the computer science bit at the start, and this is our model projections for how each market will pan out. So this ranges from the chance of Man United winning their next game to the projection of the number of yards Mahomes will get in his next game. So it covers all that. So that's I guess what it is. And then in terms of how we've progressed over the last 3 months and what we're looking to develop more, it's more about scaling up coverage, to be honest, Luke. We want to ensure that we are making more events matter for our clients. And we did a bit of research sort of a few months ago, and we found out that our bettors, or the average bettor, only knows or has enough knowledge to bet on about 5% of the betting market. And we want to provide our clients with the capabilities to keep their audience informed for all of them, really. And as we know, sports betting is a 24/7 product, and we want to cater for all of that. So that's the scaling up element. And then the other side of things is making our product easier for consumers or customers to consume. Like we know, like everyone, there are huge roadmaps at the moment, and these are a constraint that we're up against when transfer to our customers. But what we want to do is make the product easily ingested and obtained for our customer base. So whether it be integrating into a sportsbook site, integrating into CRM campaigns, integrating into articles on site, we're able now to provide plug-in solutions that mitigate any roadmaps.
So you picked up on the sort of 5% stat, and there's also other stats out there around how heavily punters will go towards a certain selection of small events. And obviously you're talking about scaling up the coverage, but is that difficult when you're coming into it, this summer? You imagine a huge interest on the Euros, Copa America, big sporting events. Is it difficult to balance the need to spread that out with that, needing to, as a new product, hone in on very much on those very key sports and events? How do you sort of meet that balance?
Yeah, it's providing for the bigger competitions is actually the easier bit. Like we've been doing it for sort of 30 years now, so that's the easier bit. And those aren't a concern. I guess we always have it gets a bit hectic towards the start of the Euros or the Copa America World Cup, whatever it may be, when we're having to fulfill all our client demands and also get all the initiatives live on our consumer-facing sites. But where we try and challenge ourselves is to actually provide the same level of content and product on the sort of perceived lesser events than we do on the major events. So that is more of a challenge than it would be actually than the bigger events such as the Euros.
I was just going to ask also so you talked about the three ways that stepsoness is presented, and obviously how the data marries with your verdict. How important do you think that verdict is? That the key piece of the pie here in terms of, I don't want to say pushing someone to make a bet, but in sort of giving someone the confidence that is the right bet? Is that sort of the key element, or are certain people looking at this in a different way in terms of actually wanting to analyse the data more closely to arrive at their own verdict, as it would be?
Yeah, I think you touched on it there in the latter part of the question. I think it depends on the customer, doesn't it? And how much knowledge they have about the sport. So if you're looking for someone that wants to move on to an event they don't know much about and just wants a quick opinion, the verdict would be your answer there. But if you're looking for someone that is more statistically based and wants to look into the research and stats of that, then you would be looking more to our insights and projections. So it depends on the user itself, the customer.
You mentioned about the delivery of it as a pre-game up to sort of the final whistle. And I know we've spoken about this before in terms of how the delivery of that changes from perhaps longer form pre-match content to something that might need to be a bit sharper to sort of grab your attention in play. But I wonder, sort of, you're saying up to the final whistle, how far up in, say, a football game are these sort of verdicts or whatever delivered? Is there a cut-off point when it's like, there is no more? How does that work?
So we react to the on-field events and we produce bet prompts or bet stimulating content in real time. So our models work out what is the most attractive proposition at one time, dependent on what's going on in the event. So it could be a goal. Well, goals obviously like to lead to a lot of interest, but it could be a card, it could be a corner. So it completely depends what is going on field, and then we're able to react to that in real time.
Okay. And then obviously the way this is supplied, so we know that you go to sportsbooks, but you also go to affiliates. Can you just talk us through sort of why the focus on affiliates as well?
Yeah, so I guess this isn't anything new. We've always been supplying to affiliates and media companies in general. Our existence as a group is spawned from a media company. We are a media company that has used affiliation to grow it. But yeah, it would be fair to say that in the B2B space, particularly when looking at UK and Europe, we've been prioritizing sportsbooks more. And now we're looking to move across to show more interest in the media side of things. So in terms of why we're looking to do this, there's sort of two main areas. One is the US. So the US, as you know, is a key strategic goal for almost any business in the gambling industry at the moment. And if you're looking at our two customer segments there, you've got operators and you've got media and affiliates.
Yeah.
So operators really only have one aim at the moment, I think it'd be fair to say, is just trying to roll out as many states as possible and get their market share. Yeah. And consequently, they've got a fine baseline product in the shape of their sportsbook, and therefore additional content or product on top of that is not a priority at the moment. Whereas if you're looking at the media side of the coin, it's completely different. Suddenly media and affiliates have been given this opportunity to access this new revenue stream in the form of betting. And there's a huge amount of content and product that they need to supply to that. And we're obviously able to fulfill that.
Just in terms of integration, so obviously for a sportsbook, perhaps more simple in that it's to the sportsbook page, it's bet prompting or however you want to define that. For into an affiliate page, is it integrated with the bookmaker page from the affiliates? Can you go direct from a verdict via API into that bookmaker or whoever it might be they work with?
So yeah, when looking at media and affiliates, there's why our proposition is so compelling for those type of for that segment is that we're offering more than just product and content there. Like we have a whole host of abilities and skill sets in-house from us ourselves being able to provide affiliate capabilities that we're able to offer media companies as well. So if you're looking at affiliate marketing, conversion tactics, odds integrations, commercial management, etc., there's a huge amount that goes into being able to provide a high-end and high-quality affiliate and media solution to convert your betting audience, and that is something that we're able to offer as one. So we don't just have to offer an API, we can offer that whole solution packaged up however the media company can want. So it's just easy for them to integrate.
Okay. And then I know you sort of said that almost catering to the big tournaments and the big events is perhaps the easy thing, and sort of spreading the net a bit wider might be sort of, scaling up might actually be the more difficult thing. But just in terms of the big football tournaments we've just had, how did things go? How did the product sort of stand up or, react to sort of customer behavior, across that period?
Yeah, it was, as I mentioned, that in terms of delivering the content and product for this, it's an easy thing for us to do. Like it is what we do and we have been doing for a long time. In terms of how well it received, it was really well received. And what's interesting now is when people, when companies contact us about wanting content and products, initially for these major tournaments, the demand starts permeating down into the perceived lesser events. Yeah. And I think there's an argument for what you could find is that relating to that 5% stat I said earlier, that there's an argument that there's more value in product and content relating to the lesser events, as people don't know as much about them.
Yeah.
And so that's the sort of general trend and customer behavior we're seeing, is that they come in for these major events, and they generate interest there, but it's then how can they spread their tentacles to further events as well? And obviously we can cater for that. And
then obviously if looking back again at sort of the first 3 months, obviously we all like to think that you launch products and it's perfect and that it goes from there. But is there anything you've learned from this period that would inform sort of changes to how you do things, to how the sort of the data or the verdicts or anything are delivered? Is there anything that you've now switching up?
We would like to offer more scale up, in truth. The demand is there for more content, and so we are scaling that ahead of the football season coming up. We've got our big kickoff campaign that's live, so we're covering more events there, more league coverage. In the US, we are well aware of the demand for player prop focused content, and so we've got our data science guys working on providing projections for all of those in all the major sports. So we just want to scale up coverage is one, and two, which I mentioned earlier, was being able to provide products and content that can be easily integrated and just make it really simple for our clients. And that is something we're working on, particularly with media companies now, and providing our publisher solutions, where we can provide them with essentially a plug-in solution which enables them to convert their audience through betting.
Good stuff. Thank you, Will. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.